Okay, so we're going to practice graphing three different types of graphs: vertical lines, horizontal lines, and step functions. So, vertical lines will always have equations that start with x equals. Because if you think about this line, every point on this line has the same x coordinate, and that x coordinate is 3, right? So, this is 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1. So, the equation is just x equals 3. Because it's a vertical line, and we'll talk more about this later, its slope is undefined. And because of the vertical line test, if I were to draw a line, each input would not have its own output, right? 3 has many different outputs. 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1. So this is not a function. So we'll just say 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. And for this function, the domain, the set of x values, is literally just 3. That's the only x value. The range, on the other hand, infinite y values will be on this function. So it's negative infinity, less than y, less than infinity. All real numbers are part of this range. So just remember, this can also be written as the all real numbers symbol. Horizontal lines, on the other hand, have all the same y coordinates. So for this line, points would be 0, -4, 2, -4, 4, -4. No matter what, -4 is the y coordinate. So the equation is y equals -4. The slope of this line is always going to be 0. And again, we're going to talk more about the slopes later in this unit. And this function has a name. We call this a constant function because it's unchanging. So the x values will vary, but the y values will always stay the same. And so in this case, we have a domain of infinite numbers, right? It's infinitely wide. So we can either write this or we can write this. Whereas the range, the only y value on this graph is -4. So we do have a couple acronyms to help us remember the features of these graphs. So H stands for horizontal. So if a line is horizontal, the O stands for 0 slope, so it'll have a slope of 0, and the Y tells us the equations will be y equals. VUX, the acronym VUX, V stands for vertical lines, will have undefined slope, and will always have an equation, x equals blank. So VUX helps us remember what type of line, what kind of slope, and what kind of equation it'll have. So since this is horizontal, this is a Hoy graph, so it's going to be y equals, and it's going through the y value of 20. The slope of Hoy is going to be 0. As opposed to this next one, it's a vertical line, so it's VUX. It's going through the x value of 8, so the equation will be x equals 8, and the slope will be undefined. So if an equation were to go through 4, 6, and 4, -3, you can even sketch it to help you visualize 4, 6, and 4, -3. So we have a line going through those 2 points. That makes it a vertical line. So this is a VUX situation. It'll be x equals 4 because it's going through the x values of 4. So if the x coordinate is the same for the 2 points, that's going to make it a vertical line. Here, they told us it's vertical, so again, it's going to be VUX. So we'll pick the x coordinate to write our equation for, x equals -2. For this one, they told us that it has a slope of 0. So since it has a slope of 0, it's going to be Hoy. So that's going to be a y equals equation. So you'd use the y coordinate to say y equals -8. And then this last one goes to 6, 3, and -10, 3. That's going to be a horizontal line. So it'll be y equals 3 using the y coordinate. So a constant function is when something is unchanging. So for instance, if tickets to Pops and Jazz was $10, no matter the age, people are going to pay $10. The reality is, though, normally younger kids pay less. So that's where a step function comes into play. So here, they're telling us that if the kid is between 0 and 10 years old, they will pay $5. So the price is $5, a horizontal line, if your age is between 0 and 10. And just like earlier this year, remember when we would do these inequality graphs? We would do open circles when it was just the less than symbol. And then we would do closed circles. So here, since it's less than or equal to, I would do a closed circle on 10. And these people 10 and older, will pay $10. So it's a horizontal line going through $10. So a step function is basically just two horizontal lines, two or more, combined together. So let's look more at a step function. So it's a special type of piecewise function. You're going to learn a lot more about piecewise functions later, but just know this is a special type of piecewise function whose graph is a series of line segments. Specifically, they're going to be horizontal. And it's composed of constant functions. So again, horizontal lines. When you look at a graph, the open circle means don't include it. The closed circle means do include it. So here, let's do some examples with this graph that's measuring the weight in ounces of a letter versus the cost to mail it. So if a letter were to weigh 4.5 ounces, 4.5 is right here. If we go up to this, we can see that that's going to be 47 cents to mail. If it's 3 ounces, so if we go from 3 ounces up, this is a little tricky because there's 2 circles above 3. But we always want to pick the closed circle because that's what's included. So the closed circle is in line with 43 cents. So 3 ounces will be 43 cents. And then f of 6, 6 is the x value. So if we go to 6, that's in line with 49 cents. So a 6-ounce package will be 49 cents to mail. So we can also fill in a table. They did the first 2 steps for us. So the first step is right here. The second step is right here. The third step has a cost of 43 cents. So it'll be 43 cents. And then we look at the 2 x values, it's in between. So for 43 cents, it's in between 2 and 3. So we write it as an inequality, putting the equal to symbol on the closed circle, which is 3. Then our fourth step has a cost of 45 cents. And the 2 x values it's between is 3 and 4. Put the line, the equal to symbol on 4 because that's where our closed circle is. All right, let's do the 5th and 6th step. So the 5th step has 47 and it's between 4 and 5 with the equal to symbol on 5. And then the 6th step is between 5 and 6 with the equal to symbol on 6. So if you're given this table, which of these graphs match? So the graphs are basically the same. The only difference is where the closed circle and open circle are. So let's focus on where the closed circle is. The closed circle should be with the $1 ticket price at 3. And for the $4 ticket price at 10. So the first step should have a closed circle on the right, and the second step should have a closed circle on the right as well, lined up with 10 years old. And we can see here the $8 step in line with 8 has an open circle on 10. So this one has 3 steps. So the first step has a cost of $1 between the weight of 0 and 3. Closed circles on 3, so I put the line there. My second step has a cost of $5 when the weight is between 3 and 6 pounds. And then the third step has a cost of $8 when the cost is between 6 and 12. Again, the equal to symbol goes on 12 because that's a closed circle. F of 6, so if we go to 6, we're going to pick the closed circle. So if something is 6 pounds, you're going to pay $5. So F of 6 is 5. And then they told us F of 10 is 8. And so what that means is if you buy 10 pounds of candy, it will cost $8. And so if I wanted to graph it, it might be hard to tell, but this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. They're only giving us half of the graph. Sometimes the functions are written this way. So this is saying that y, so this is the y value, is 2. So I'm going to go up to 2. I'm going to put a closed circle on the x value of 0 and then draw a straight line until I get to the x value of 3. 1, 2, 3. Put an open circle. Then for the y value of 5, so 3, 4, 5, there's going to be a closed circle where x equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Go up to 5, put a closed circle, and all the way until we get to x is 5 and put an open circle. And then the last y value is -4, -1, -2, -3, -4, starting at the x value of 5 until the x value of 10. So x is 5 right here. Put a closed circle, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put another closed circle because both are equal to, and extend the line. So that's how to graph a step function.